Coming up on this episode of Don't Panic, we've got the week's tech news, including the official name for the new version of Android. It's Tasty. We also talk about the Cop button, Amazon Instant Pickup, which is really just a store, and would you watch unlimited movies for $10? It's not a scam. It's coming up right now. It's Don't Panic. This is Don't Panic, episode number 173, recorded August 21st, 2017. Double Stuffed Android. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast, where I forgot to set up the cameras ahead of time, so you're only looking at me at the video version. But the good news is we've got everyone here on audio, so let's bring in Dan Miller and Colby Rabideau, two men who know Rhode Island isn't actually an island. What's going on, guys?
I mean, Rhode Island has islands, though.
See, it's so confusing. You know what? I think we just should, them and Long Island, we should just jettison off.
Did I ever tell you my theory about why Rhode Island is called Rhode Island?
Why?
This is in no way based in fact. This is pure wild speculation. But the full name of Rhode Island is the smallest state with the longest name. Mm-hmm. If you don't know, the full name is the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. Like, that's the official state name in the Registry of States or whatever. And so my theory is that the island was like, I don't know, like Aquidneck Island or something where Newport is, which is in fact an island. Mm-hmm. You can drive there because there's a bridge, but it's an island. And then like Providence Plantations was like where Providence is, which is on the rest of the land-bound part. That's my theory. But no one wants to say it's this state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations all the time, so you got to shorten it.
Well, I'm just glad we had our Rhode Island consultant here to give us the full scoop.
I am technically an expert.
Well, good.
I don't know.
What is the definition of an expert?
I don't know.
We're putting that up to the test right now.
Yeah, a person who has a comprehensive and authoritative knowledge of or skill in a particular area. Would you say that your knowledge is authoritative or comprehensive, Colby?
I'm not sure it's either of those things, frankly.
You strike me as kind of an authoritative person. What Colby says.
Yeah, I guess I could be authoritative. All right, I'll say, while not comprehensive,
you can be quite authoritative.
Be authoritative about being authoritative.
Right. Don't equivocate.
All right.
Demand respect.
New life goals.
Well, good. Well, now that we got Rhode Island out of the way, like we should have, and to begin with, gentlemen, we're here. We're doing the show. We're live right now on Facebook at facebook.com/Don'tPanicShow. I recommend everyone check out the live show Monday nights. If you're watching live right now, you can interact with us during the show. Comment on Facebook. We'll be watching throughout the show, or call the phone number 508-644-TECH. That's 508-644-TECH. That's 8324. You can call at any time, and you'll join us on the air, and you can give us your thoughts and opinion on the tech news of the week or whatever we're chatting about. With that out of the way, guys, I don't want to do it, but I kind of feel like we have to. Did you guys see the eclipse today?
I did.
That's
one of my coworkers
had
eclipse glasses, so I saw the eclipse protected.
And you let your coworker burn their eyes out? You're so selfish.
No, they were like, they had like a 6-pack of them. There were many glasses.
They went to Costco for their glasses. That's great.
I don't know where they came from, but I can still see, so I guess they worked. That's
good. All right, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you see the eclipse, Sean?
I did. I also had a pair of glasses, and I went outside, and I was thoroughly unimpressed. I thought it was mild. I thought it was neat. And then I went back to my desk and put on the live stream of where it was actually eclipsing, not like in New England, and I was much more impressed at the stream on my computer. So that was neat. I was watching that. You should have seen me because they had the Oregon was kind of the first place it hit, and they had the live, like the NASA stream of like the really high def, really close up, like with the nice equipment, and I was just like, I was like, my jaw was down. I was like, wow.
So somebody told me that in 2024 the eclipse, then the next eclipse is supposed to be closer to a total eclipse in like this part of the country.
That's true.
So maybe mark that on your calendar and you can
I'll make a
see it
note.
in real life. Yeah.
I don't know. Dan, are you blind?
No. So we didn't have eclipse sunglasses or whatever they're called, and not only that, but like there was no discernible difference that I could detect just standing outside. So like it was also very cloudy though. So, I don't know. Looks cool on TV.
Okay.
Now, what do you all think about this? Like, would you, obviously you didn't, but would you like drive out to to Tennessee and like go see this thing?
I mean, it seems kind of risky given that weather can.
What if the sun doesn't come up?
I thought you were throwing shade at Tennessee. Well,
oh no, no,
no pun intended.
I was hoping the pun was intended.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Oh no. No.
Yeah, the moon was throwing shade at us all day long.
Real though.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
consider doing it. The only thing is that the problem with an eclipse is it feels like too much. Like I should just be able to look up at it, and I feel like there's just too much work that goes into it. Like I want my natural phenomena to be natural. I don't want all this hoopla around my natural events. Like I would go see like a geyser.
Like a nice rainstorm.
A geyser just happen. A waterfall just happens. You just stand there and you're like, ooh, neat. But an eclipse, it's like you got to get the special glasses and you got to go to Oregon and you got to have the lens on the camera. And oh no, you'll blow your retinas out. It's like, come on. I'm far too lazy.
Now's the time to buy the eclipse sunglasses.
Did
you can get those on a discount for $24. Do they?
The ones we were using, like it said they expire in 3 years or something.
Quality product.
What?
I don't know. Maybe that's just their way of being able to resell eclipse glasses for the next eclipse.
Yeah, that does seem like a thing the world doesn't need an unlimited supply of. I did see someone on Twitter was sharing a link where, and this is a good hot tip, if you have leftover solar eclipse glasses, don't throw them away. You can mail them to this nonprofit, and then because eclipses do not like super all the time, but they do happen in other places around the world more often. North America just isn't in a good spot for eclipses. But they'll send them to like kids in Africa and other places, and they'll use them for the next eclipse, which I think is in like 2 years for
nice.
them. So Google, I don't know the name of it, which is not helpful, but go Google what to do with your solar eclipse glasses.
If your eclipse glasses are compliant with the ISO 12312-2 safety standard, you can reuse them indefinitely, according to NASA.
Oh, well, maybe ours weren't compliant.
Well, I was going to say, are the 99-cent made in China 12 bulk pack
they weren't
ones?
Compliant, though. I don't know. I don't know if I would have trusted them with my eyeballs.
Well, there was, what was it, Dutch Brothers Coffee Roasters, they're like a coffee company. They gave out like a couple thousand free pairs to their customers. Then they found out that they were like bad, like they didn't actually protect your eyes, and so they gave out a bunch of free coffee as an apology, and I'm sure their legal team is just praying and hoping. I messaged you guys on Slack. My company sent out a note today to all the employees letting us know that they are not responsible if we look at the sun during the eclipse and go blind. And I said, I didn't know you had to tell us that, but I kind of feel better that you did.
Did you guys see the Twitter pictures of the president looking at the sun?
Don't look! Although, you know what? Hey, I swear to God, there's nothing in this world I love more than trashing on the president. He's a terrible person and kind of an asshole. But I will say, the pictures look if you watch the video, he looks at the sun for a split second. It's really not like he was like, oh. Like, the pictures
so
look
it was
way
a little
worse.
unfair.
I'm going to give him, I mean, he shouldn't have looked, but like, he glanced up very quickly. So I'm gonna give him this one. The pictures look awful.
Imagine if that turned out to be like an FDR situation where like President Trump goes blind, but they put a
Cover it
bunch
up.
of effort into hiding that. Right.
Well, that's what, because he had his teleprompter speech tonight, and I'm like, oh boy, it's gonna be so fun when he can't read the teleprompter at his speech, because he can't see anymore.
Oh dear.
I know. The I don't know. Everything's got to be a big event these days, so why not the eclipse?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see everyone again when we're still doing this show in 2025. Celebrating what would be our 15th anniversary, maybe? No, it's
Holy
no,
moly.
10-year anniversary, something like that.
Yeah, didn't we started in 2014, right? So
Was that what it was? Yeah. So 11. Geez, we'll be so old. So old. We're already old.
feels weird.
It does. Anything else going on, Colby?
No, not really. Not since the last time we
That's
talked.
okay. We played Dungeons and Dragons over the weekend, which was exciting.
Yep.
It didn't go great, I don't think. We did okay. We stumbled through a lot of it.
Well-
We were a little rusty, a little out of shape.
Yeah. Rusty and low on memory of of what had happened in the past.
Yeah, and low on internet connection too.
Yeah,
That, as usual, became a problem.
that's true. I forgot.
So, yeah.
Indeed.
But we
Speaking
did
of
it.
internet connections.
It's up on GameNights.tv. Yes, Dan, are you there?
Hello. Can you hear me?
We have our
Yep.
correspondent, Dan, coming at us from the field. Dan, what's it like out there?
I'm gonna keep my camera off. See if that makes it better.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you keep dropping, there's always the phone number. Then you'll really be by phone. All right. Good. What?
I was gonna say, should we talk about tech news?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. I think we're going to buck the trend. I think people have come to expect. I think it's too predictable. Again, I don't want to make this political, but I did catch a little of the president's speech about Afghanistan, and one of his whole points was that we can no longer tell people what we're going to be doing with the military because it warns them that we're going to be doing it before we do it. Really, what he's saying is he just doesn't want to tell the American people what he's doing. But beside that, I don't think we should. I think we got to keep people on their toes. I think they've come to expect us to talk about the tech news. I think instead we should talk fashion.
Yeah, well, what would you like to talk about instead of tech news? What would each of our number one new podcasts be about if we were to do a podcast, the three of us, about something other than technology?
I see. This is just because I was listening to my brother, and me. But I think we should do a Dear Abby advice style show because I don't think we could do a very good job at that.
No, I don't think so.
No. You know, I think Matt would be better though. I think Matt probably has some good advice for people.
Oh sure, at minimum hilarious advice. I can't say it's good.
But yeah, he has a good mix of correct advice and hilarious advice.
I would love to do it and maybe I would just want this to exist. I don't know if I would want to do it myself. It sounds like a lot of work, but I would love a podcast that was about like the like weird things in the English language, like regional accents and like
Ooh, that's a very auditory thing too.
yeah, right. I feel like it's the perfect content for a podcast. And I think that
You could do that all over the world.
You could, yeah.
Why limit yourself?
I mean, you got to start somewhere.
That's true. That's a good idea.
Indeed.
I think we should start a show with an absolutely unobtainable goal.
Mm.
You know, be like, this is the podcast. We're gonna go to the moon.
Colby, Sean, and Dan will be in Trolls too.
That we could do that too. That's actually a better idea. I need more original ideas. I mean, even this show isn't particularly original, but that's okay. We make it our own.
Indeed. Are there really any original ideas?
That's already
or
also.
just
I always wanted
talks
to do-
about the interviews people.
Okay.
What?
I actually got pretty far along in developing a game show.
Yeah.
I had like
That's right.
100 questions written and like a bracket system all set up and like prizes, and it was gonna be a limited run, like 12 episode thing of just a game show tournament of champions, and it just never got around to happening.
Why didn't? But you could still do it.
Oh, I still have most of the stuff. I still have to write some more questions, but yeah, it could be done. But it just never. The pieces just never came together on that one.
What I was going to say is the podcast I would like to see is an interview podcast where they interview people with just really weird jobs. Like
the guy who changes the light bulbs on top of the skyscrapers, like the red flashing
Yes.
light bulbs. Like, that's weird. That's someone's job.
absolutely.
And in New York City, there's like 2 guys who do that for all the buildings, and that's their whole job.
Mm-hmm. The guy who operates the ball that drops on New Year's Eve.
Great.
Whoa.
I'm surprised that doesn't already exist.
Maybe it does. I'll look it up.
And if it does,
It's
I would
kinda
like to
dirty
subscribe.
jobs, but different.
Yeah. That's a good
Weird
idea.
jobs.
That's a good idea. Sadly, we're not going to be making any of those shows tonight. We are going to talk about the tech news because we've done it 172 times before. We will do it again tonight. Gentlemen, we've got a lot of news here in the rundown. We've got Android's new name, Xfinity Mobile, the cop button, Movie Pass, incompetent emojis. The list is far and wide. Where would you all like to start?
Can we start with the emoji one? Because I'm a little nervous about it.
Oh boy, I'm guilty of this, which tells me we have a problem. I feel like you guys work in an industry where maybe this isn't as big of a problem, but you tell me. So researchers from the University of Amsterdam and a couple other universities did a study where they had 549 participants from 29 different countries read work-related emails from unknown people in order to evaluate the competence and warmth of the sender. To make things more interesting, some of those emails contained smiley face emoji while others didn't. The outcome revealed that the smiley emoticons had no effect on the feeling, the warmth of the person. So it's not like smiling in person. The smiley face emoji didn't make much of an effect. Like you didn't make the person feel better by including them. But what they did find is it actually has a negative impact on the receiver's perception of the sender. The study found that when participants were asked to respond to emails on formal matters, their answers were more detailed and they included more content-related information when the email did not include a smiley. They showed that when anonymous, senders who included smiley face emoticons were often presumed to be women, though that had no relation on the evaluations of the individual's competence or friendliness factors. Simply put, if you include emojis in your email, they're not seen as more friendly. In fact, they potentially make you seen as incompetent or less capable.
I wonder. I mean, I know it says the participants were from 29 different countries, but what were their ages?
That is.
I feel like that is an important vector to slice and dice this study, and maybe I don't know. Maybe they don't have enough people to chop it up anymore, but. So I don't think I ever use emojis in email. So maybe this is a thing I shouldn't worry about. But when I just read the headline without reading the actual article, as one does, I was concerned because I use emojis a lot on Slack and stuff.
But I feel like Slack is different though, because I feel like that's a medium where you're expected to do that.
Well, that's why I was concerned.
I clicked through. They want me to pay to read the actual study, so I couldn't tell you what age of the participants are in there. I know. Can you believe they want money for their scientific study?
I was wondering if they only use the emoji or if they use like colon close parentheses also.
It says smiley face emoji, so I don't know.
But I feel like emoji has become colloquial for any way you can put a face in a text message.
But I mean, even Outlook now does the little yellow face, smiley face emoji icon when you type in colon smile, parentheses.
Oh, interesting.
So but that's a good question. I know I do send a lot of emails, and I have been known to include the smiley face, and now I'm really questioning because I always thought, like the study said, I always do people think I'm fun and relatable, and it's like like you're making a joke in the email, but then also I work with people who are older, and it's entirely possible that I never thought of it this way. It's all becoming clear why everyone thinks I'm so incompetent. It's obviously not tied to my abilities or skills. It's because of my smiley face emails.
Yeah. I mean, this makes perfect sense.
Big mistake.
Struggling at work? Maybe stop using emoji. Bummer. But
I do think this is an email problem. I know the study doesn't say that. I feel if you're Slack or IM or texting or a lot of other forms of if you're putting out an official memo, you probably shouldn't include it. But I feel like the more casual forms of communication, you can probably do the emoji and be okay.
That makes me wonder if there's ever been like an official company memo or like news blast or something with emoji in it. I feel like that'll happen someday.
Well, I help write the press releases for my company. I'll have to see if we can slip one into the next one. Be like,
Etsy definitely had those in like official company memos. But what even is there? Well, what is a memo? Like, what is an official company memo? I don't know that we ever had. I'm sure we did, but we never called them memos. They're just emails to everyone. And there is definitely an email to everyone that had a smiley face in it.
I think that the difference would be is if it's I would argue if it's internal only, I think it would be a little more okay. If it's at any point expected to be externally facing, I would be surprised to see that kind of iconography in a message like that.
Iconography.
Could you imagine in your company's annual report the Q4 earnings projections were smiley face. But profit margin was crying face. Overall, our year's performance was vomiting green emoji face. It's like, oh no. I mean, I feel a little better about it because you use cartoons, but nonetheless.
This statement, this press release contains right arrow, side eyes emoji statements.
Yep. We've joked on the show about starting a consultancy. I think our last business plan was how we were going to help rename companies, like badly named. We were going to help like Monsanto with their image. I think part of that needs to be, we'll pitch to them, look, if you've got bad news in your press releases or in your annual report, just jazz it up with like a GIF.
Ooh.
Or a meme.
Or you can do what like the TV shows and the movies are doing these days and release it as like an interactive website where the entire internet like goes bananas trying to like crack the code, and they like open up the source and they get this number and that number leads them to an email address.
And that's like a payphone in New Mexico, and you got to call it and get the number, and then that takes you to that's a really great idea.
And then it just says, we've experienced losses for the third quarter in a row. And
we're insolvent. we spent our last dollar on this stupid contest. Thanks for playing.
Nice.
Once again, our consultancy blown up.
This is sort of unrelated, but I really liked the most recent OMG Roofing Instagram post. That was so cool.
The T-Mobile one there?
Yeah,
I love that one. That's one of my favorites too. I'm not really allowed to like our posts because that's cheating, but I like that one because I was.
Yeah.
That's really neat. Thank you, Colby.
It's cool.
Wait, OMG Roofing?
Yeah.
You don't follow Sean's company's Instagram?
I work hard on those. That's like my job.
Wait, your company's called OMG Roofing?
It's OMG Roofing products.
Knew
that?
It's like Dan doesn't even listen to the show he's on.
Wait.
Good God. Next week I'm going to wear my OMG Roofing shirt, so he knows.
What here was clever?
What?
The most recent one?
Yeah, on Instagram. Colby liked it. It wasn't clever. It's just,
I thought it was cool.
It's a good picture.
Yeah, I had nothing to do. I just stole it, but, that's okay. It still counts. So if you're looking for an efficient way
You do this, Sean? You put together this here website?
Instagram, no, they were no. Smart people did that. But I did take the pictures and I cropped them, and then I wrote the little description and I uploaded
Look at
them.
this. You got an app? Handy calculator tools?
We do.
iOS and Android.
That's right. You can find out how much manpower and money you save by using our product over a worse competitor.
Oh, did you put this video together?
Which video?
The Rhino Bond video. Non-penetrating, fast-acting.
No, I did not. But I work closely with the guy who does, so I'll let him know you liked it.
Oh my god. The music.
Yeah, that's our graphic designer, Jeff. He's a good man.
Whew. All right, that brought a smile to my face.
Good. Aw, that's not. Please write in or comment on the video that it brought a smile to your face. I get credit for that. Okay. Anyway, we are off topic. So let's get back on topic with some more tech news here.
Sorry.
Before I'm not being paid to promote the company at this moment, so I'm just saying I'm off the clock. Let's see. We've got a bunch of other stories in here that we can chat about.
Should we talk about Android?
We certainly can. This will be a short conversation because there's not a lot that's new. What we really learned was the name. I don't know if we talked about Android O before. I mean, I want to say we touched on. So there's a giant list of new features that are coming to it that I don't have in front of me, so I can't tell you what they are. But it's all like incremental. There's no like big wow features to it. But basically today they announced instead of Android O, it will be Android Oreo. Of course, as you know, Android uses food sweet names. How many? Can you guys do them all in order, starting with Cupcake?
What were A and B if Cupcake was the
It was
first
Alpha
one?
and Beta, so they started with C.
Donut,
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah.
Eclair.
Yeah.
Honeycomb.
No, you skipped two letters in the
F.
alphabet.
Oh, sorry.
F.
Food.
Food. They got real lazy with that one. No, that was a Froyo.
Froyo. Oh,
And then
man.
G.
Graham cracker.
No. Nougat. No.
Gelato.
No. Gingerbread.
Oh God, that's the one I should know. That's the one that like everyone in the world uses still.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
they did in when that was the thing that was relevant to me.
Yeah.
Ginger.
And then
Honeycomb.
it was honeycomb. And then I.
Ice cream sandwich.
Yep.
Yep.
J.
Jelly bean.
Yep.
Kit Kat bar.
Yep.
Yep.
Then L.
Lollipop.
Yep. M.
Marzipan.
No. I like that
Was it
better than the
Mars
one
bar?
that shows. No.
M&M.
M&M.
No. It was marshmallow.
Marshmallow.
And then N.
Nougat.
Nougat. Yeah. And then O is Oreo.
There we
Oh.
go.
So
What do
there.
we think P's gonna be?
I don't know.
There really
I
any
can't think of.
pieces, comma Reese's? I don't think that counts.
Pop Tart.
Oh my God. I feel like an episode of the English language weirdness podcast could be about people saying Reese's Pieces instead of Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, I don't know where that. I would like to know where that comes from actually. But anyway, there you go. So this is version 8 of Android, officially Android Oreo. It is available today via the Android open source project, so you could go get it if you want. However, over-the-air rollout to Pixel and Nexus devices, which are to be the first to get the update, is coming soon. Builds currently are in carrier testing.
It's got to be Pez. They have to do another one
Pez?
of those.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, and they in a promo where you can get a little Android robot Pez dispenser.
It sells itself.
Damn, that's a great idea.
Do they to call this thing Android? Do they have to like partner with Android? Like when they did KitKat, is it safe to assume that was a collaborative thing?
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
Yeah, to get the only thing is I don't know if they're doing, because the thing with the KitKat, there's it's one thing when you license the name, but with KitKat they actually like did a contest and they had Android on the wrapper of the KitKats. I haven't seen anywhere that says they're doing like cross marketing with Oreo. I am virtually certain they had to do a marketing agreement to use the name.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're doing anything fancy with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, there you go.
Cool.
So there is that. Coming soon to a phone near you, unless it doesn't, which sometimes Android updates don't. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here, gentlemen? So much to talk about, so little time.
Yeah, I want to talk about Amazon Instant Pickup.
Amazon Instant Pickup. This is a fun one. Amazon, the company that throws everything at the wall to see what sticks, is attempting Amazon Instant Pickup. And the way it works is Instant Pickup will allow Prime and Prime student users to order things like food, cold drinks, phone chargers, personal care items, and Amazon Echo products at 5 fully staffed locations in Los Angeles, Atlanta, Berkeley, Columbus, and College Park, Maryland. Now, the way it works is you go on the app, you pick out the items you want, and you can pick it up as soon as 2 minutes later. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, wait a second, Sean, that sounds like a store where I walk in and just pick up items when I want them immediately. You're kind of right. It's close. They do say instant pickup prices may be cheaper than standard Amazon orders from time to time, although Amazon declined to detail its pricing structure.
But, whoa. Hey, my video's back.
Guess who's back? Back again.
You don't just, you can't walk into a store and get everything in 2 minutes, though.
Well,
like,
but
that's a bold claim.
Well, but hang on, though, because if I'm going to, like, a Target and I have a list of, like, 20 things I need, sure. But this is, like, more of a 7-Eleven than it is a full store. You know, if
7-Eleven where you can drop $200 on an Amazon Echo.
Well, hey, I haven't been to 7-Eleven recently. Maybe, you know, they're going places. But no, I think that, to me, it just looks like that food, drinks, phone chargers, personal, you know, this is like I can see why they're targeting college students in college locations. That makes a lot of sense because this is exactly the kind of crap that you want quickly. But to me, it's not any kind of big wow sort of. I don't know. I don't want to bum out on it, but I don't. It's not worse than a store, but I don't get the. It doesn't wow me, unless the prices are actually cheaper. Because you get the value of the Amazon fulfillment warehouse. They can do stuff cheaper because they buy it in bulk system. And it's cheaper than a Walmart or 7-Eleven, then great. Then I'm on board. But just the idea of like, whoa, instead of going to a store and pulling it off a shelf, I can go to the app and someone else can pull it off the shelf. I'm like, I'm not.
It seems like the like turning on your lights problem without an Echo that I have, where it's like, I can turn on the lights from my phone. But, like, is that really better than flipping the light switch? Occasionally, but almost never. Yeah. I think I also feel like doing this would be maybe colleges make sense because it's, like, a relatively, like, there are never more people at a college than, like, it's, like, the same amount of people. Whereas, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm sure you still have, like, peak times and slow times. But, like, in the real world, it seems like it would be really hard to logistics that. Like, could you really guarantee 2 minutes? I don't know. Maybe they can, but
it's like Domino's, 2 minutes or you get it for free.
That's why their pizza's so terrible. No, you know, another thing about this too that bothers me is that imagine a competition, right, where you have a rack of sodas and energy drinks and sparkling waters and other beverages, right? And then you have the Amazon app, and you want a Pepsi. Which is faster to pick out a Pepsi? The Amazon app, for all that it does, is I don't find it easy necessarily in terms of time saving to find things in the app. Now, if I'm going to order something and wait 2 days for it to show up at my house, I don't mind. But again, I don't think going into the app and being like, I want a bag of Doritos and a Mountain Dew, I guarantee it is faster to pull those things off the shelf myself than to open the Amazon app, find the exact Doritos and thing I want in the app, place the order, and then go to the store. I'm suspicious of that.
Yeah, me too. Me too, Sean. I share your skepticism.
Thank you, Cole. Someone finally gets me.
See, but you're underestimating some people's desire to not talk to anyone.
But you don't. Well, then put in
You don't have to
self-checkouts
talk
in the
to anyone
store.
itself.
No, come on. Again, I just feel like they're overcomplicating a problem that's already solved and is very simple.
Though I suppose some people would say that self-checkout in the store is overcomplicating a problem that's
true.
already solved and simple.
But then wasn't
That's
Amazon
right.
the ones working on the like super smart automated convenience store where you could just grab shit and walk out? Like build those. Oh, that's right. I forgot they didn't work. As we talked about previously on the show.
Yeah.
Is that store still open, or have they shut it down? Shut it down.
I think it's still open, but I don't think any of the cool... I think it operates more like a normal store. Like, I don't think any of the cool stuff actually works.
It's no longer novel.
Yeah, it's, again, just a 7-Eleven at this point. So,
Gotcha.
I think it's neat. I appreciate, like I said, the value of it being on college campuses. But, I don't know. Hey, good on them for trying. They got the infrastructure to do it. I will say, Colby, Amazon Echo is down to $100. Used to be $170
$100
for the next 2 weeks, and I'm just saying now's the time.
I really no, that's not true. I seriously considered getting one on Prime Day, but that was when Dan and I were in Hawaii, and I don't know. It just felt like a thing one shouldn't do while on vacation.
Yep, true.
I could do it though. I feel like the only thing that I can use it for is my lights though. Like what else can I use it for?
Music. Oh, but you have a Sonos though.
Yeah.
And that's going to sound way better than
Right.
that thing.
Is there a way to
timers?
play podcasts on it? Oh, timers might be all right.
Yeah, podcasts are kind of... I wish Overcast had some integration. You can do it over Bluetooth from your phone, but then you can't really control it very well. Or you can use like Stitcher and TuneIn, and some of them connect to it, but it's not synced with Overcast, so it's definitely a pain.
Which is a problem.
To be honest, I would say if I use music through my Echo, but if I want to listen to podcasts like while I'm cooking, I use my AirPods. They're great for that.
Cool.
And frankly, if I only had the choice to buy one or the other, I'd probably use my AirPods more.
Interesting. I do have to get new headphones at some point because my headphones are like the wires are they're still intact, but like the covering over the wires has separated in multiple places. So I think it's only a matter of time before they're at the end of their life.
Believe it. All right. Very good. Well, that's Amazon Instant Pickup coming soon, maybe near you. Okay. What else do we have here, John? We got time for one more story. We've got Q&A Maps, Xfinity Mobile, Movie Pass, first run movies expensively in your home, the cop button. What's...
Movie Pass. Sorry, I was muted.
Dan just shouts out.
Oh, we can't see if you're muted tonight, Dan. So we can warn you.
I need to talk about Movie Pass.
Movie Pass. Well, you're in luck, Dan. Movie Pass. I feel like I'm going to put money. I think we've talked about this on the show before. I seem to remember we did way back, a while back when it first came out. And it's changed a lot since then. So actually, one of the early Netflix co-founder guys started a company called MoviePass a ways back. Started at $30. It used to be $30 a month, and what you got with that was the ability to go and see movies at the theater once a day, as many days as you want. So you could go 30 times in a month, as long as it was no more than once a day, and see movies at the theater as long as they weren't 3D or IMAX. You just see regular 2D movies. But apparently $30 was too expensive, so they're announcing this week the subscription is down to $9.95. That fee will let customers get into one showing every day at any theater in the U.S. that accepts debit cards. MoviePass will pay theaters the full price of each ticket used by subscribers, excluding 3D or IMAX screens. So the way it works, and this has changed from the older version of the service, was that they actually send you like a debit card, like a MoviePass debit card, and then that's how you pay for the ticket, and then they just pay the bill. Which is kind of a good idea. It means it works everywhere. Their old service had like vouchers and GPS apps, and it was kind of a pain. So they think it's going to be a little easier. How can they do this, you're thinking, Sean? That sounds like they're going to lose a lot of money. Well, they probably will. But they sold a majority stake in the company to an analytics firm. And guess what? You're the product. That's right. The idea is that they will make up the difference by cultivating your viewing habits of what movies you go to and your personal information, and use that to sell ads. This is my favorite thing. The CEO of the company that put a lot of money into them said, quote, "It's no different than Facebook or Google. The more we understand our fans, the more we can target them." Okay, that's not creepy. Mm-hmm. So, some interesting statistics in this article that that movie revenues are down this year, double digits. This summer was down, I think, 12%. Box office revenue rose just 2%, mainly due to pricier tickets, but that's kind of a crappy number. The average price of a movie ticket is $8.89 this year, though it can be much higher, obviously, in certain places. The cost of a ticket has almost doubled in the last 2 decades. So, gentlemen, $9.95 for MoviePass. Sound like a good idea?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like on average I spend more than $10 a month on movies, because like one movie around here is more than $10. I wonder if that's true, or if it's only the theater closest to me has like a lot of the like recliner theaters. So I feel like that must be more expensive to go see a movie in there.
Yeah, I'm not as... I honestly thought this was the story about renting movies like 2 weeks after they come out.
We can talk about that one too.
Because, yeah, I have no interest in this. Like, if I think I actually do live kind of close to a fancy Alamo Drafthouse. I've never been, so maybe that'll change my mind. But, like, unless it's Star Wars, basically, I will not go to a movie theater, especially day of. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, day of. That's crazy. I like going to the movies.
I would happily pay $30, $40, $50 to watch Star Wars at home. Like, if I knew that I could watch Star Wars like 2 days after, $50, I could bring some friends over, no problem. Easy sell.
Star Wars party. Yeah, once you're splitting $30 or $40, like 4, 5, 6, 7 ways, if you have more friends than I do. Cool.
It's kind of the old theory of piling as many people as you can into the car when you go to the drive-in theater.
To the drive-in, yeah.
No, and I will say, when it comes to MoviePass, AMC is now trying to sue them to stop them from doing it. The movie industry does not like the idea because they think it's devaluing what movies are worth. Now, Dan, based on what you were saying, on the flip side, supposedly, some of the biggest studios in Hollywood, including Warner Brothers and Universal Pictures, are having talks with companies like Apple and Comcast as a way to get movies into your home faster. Now, they've been doing this for a while. The biggest issue is obviously the theaters, which are expected to lose out on money, and now they're negotiating back and forth whether or not the theaters get some cut of that, what you pay. Right now, what they are negotiating is roughly 17 days after debut, you'd get the movie for $50, and 4 to 6 weeks after release for $30, said people familiar with the talks. Of course, that's flexible, who knows. But it is interesting that...
Yeah, if it's 2 weeks after and it's still $50, I think that gets a lot less attractive for me because I either really want to see a movie, in which case at that point I just go to a theater, or like there's tons of movies I'm like kind of interested in, but all those not $50 interested. So I feel like they're missing the boat here, which is probably, this is where negotiations leave you, is a solution that satisfies no one.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know who this is for. Like, who's someone who's so excited to see a movie they're going to pay $50, but not so excited that they won't go to the theater? You know, it's an awkward middle ground.
Because they're waiting 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I agree. Well, it's interesting. About 50% of a movie's revenue now comes from the theatrical run, mainly due to the collapse of the DVD market. DVD rentals are down 20% year over year. DVD sales are down 10% in the first half of this year. So, you know, the theater is really where a lot of these movies are making money. So it's going to be a tough sell to get them into your home.
Yeah.
But I think 4K does help the argument a little bit. Because I think, and as someone who paid extra to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in the 4K HDR Super Fancy Theater and noticed the difference, I think if it were just regular HD 1080p television, I'd have no interest. But if they're going to stream it to me in Ultra HD, HDR, Dolby, fancy stuff, I think there's a little more value in that. Because then you're finally getting the cinema experience at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a movie in 4K. Is
It's
IMAX
expensive.
4K?
They have some theaters that are 4K, but not. It's one of those things you got to really shop around. There was like one theater. No, I think there were 2 theaters in all of Houston that had them, that had the 4K option, and they're starting to build them out now. So there'll be more. The problem is very few movies are really, that was one of the, James Gunn and Guardians was like, they made a really big thing about how they went through frame by frame and made it look really great, and they're the first Marvel movie to be put out on Blu-ray in Ultra HD 4K. So they really made a push about how, okay, they tried really hard to make sure it looks great, and I could tell the difference in the theater. However, the ticket, I swear to God, I think after taxes and fees, it was like an $18 or $19 ticket. It was very expensive. And I don't know if I would pay it again. I mean, it looked great, but it was really expensive.
Ooh, the super fancy theater near me has 4K.
There you go. Well, which 4K though? Does it say? Because there's the Dolby Atmos, and then there's the there's the competitor that I can't think of the name of. It's kind of like when they had the real 3D and then the Dolby 3D. They just can't.
Is there a difference between those?
Well, those are the ones, the ones with the disposable glasses, and then the ones with the glasses you don't throw away.
Auditoriums are equipped with the highest quality Sony 4K digital.
It's Sony.
Screens equipped with real 3D presentations.
Yeah, you gotta Google this stuff, because there are like whole charts where there's like different levels, and like they can mix and match, where it's like they have this feature but not that feature, and like it's so obnoxious to try and track these places down. But you can look forward to that.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, well, it's getting out there. It's certainly going to be bigger as time goes on. Again, that's why revenues still are somehow up, even though ticket sales are down. Because they're upcharging on the fancier theaters. So I think we'll keep seeing a big push for that. Well, there you go. So look forward to that maybe coming to a thing near you. All right, we are at picks time in the show. And it looks like we have some picks. I still have to get one. And we're going to start because Dan had his in first. So I want to hear... I am genuinely interested to find out Dan's review on this one. Dan, tell us all about Tile.
So, let me paint you a word picture.
We don't have any other option.
Yeah. As Colby knows, over the last 3 months, at one point, I lost my keys. And I didn't just lose them like on the street. I lost them somewhere in my apartment. And this sucks because you know it's in the apartment somewhere, but you can't find it, and like that's just the worst feeling. So I had in the back of my mind as this was happening, like, okay, once I find my keys, I'm just gonna get tiles that I've read about these things. You can just stick them on your keychain. You can put them in your wallet. They're Bluetooth low energy connected, and you can have them make sounds and stuff and track where they are on your phone. Luckily for me, when I was in Hawaii with Colby, my keys that I lost fell out of my hiking shoes, and so I had them. And now I have tiles on them, so I will never lose them. I should have had them nearby so that I could demonstrate the playing. I also read today, so it works over Bluetooth. So if you can't connect over Bluetooth, I thought that you wouldn't be able to play sounds or see. It'll show you where it last saw them. But otherwise, if you're not connected, you can't do anything, or so I thought. But apparently, if you put one of your tiles into lost mode, all of the phones that have the tile app will be told to like look for this ID, and if any of them find it, it'll beacon back and show you the location where that person's phone found your tile. And they make little credit card size ones you can stick in your wallet, keychain ones that you can wrap on a keychain, but you could like tape one of these down to any service if you wanted to. And they last, I think it says it lasts for a year, or I don't remember how long. It was like over a year. So you have to replace them eventually. There's no replaceable batteries because they're so thin. But I think totally worth it for things that would really suck if you lost and are small, like keys and wallets.
I used to have tile, but then
You lost it?
No. It got to the end, like the batteries died, and I just I don't know, for whatever reason couldn't bring myself to replace them. It's one of those things where it's not useful at all ever, except when it is, and then it's really great.
Oh, but I already soft lost when I didn't put my wallet down one day where I should have, like where it always should go. And I was like, I'm just gonna play the sound. Like I don't have to, check every place I may have put it. I would have found it. It wasn't like hidden. I was like, just tell me exactly where it is right now. I don't have time for this. So I think I'll definitely be replacing it.
How good is it at like finding stuff in your home?
Well, that's what playing the sound is for. So you can have it play a sound.
And it's loud enough?
Yeah, it's plenty loud.
Okay. Because I very rarely lose things outside my house, but I lose things inside my house a lot. So that's good. Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, check it out. We'll have the link on the website. Tile in all its shapes and sizes. Thank you, Dan. Colby, you've got more things for us to listen to. What?
A podcast, shocking. So when we were talking about podcasts that are particularly suited for the podcast forum, it made me think of this podcast that I listened to for the first time recently called 20,000 Hertz. And it's just about sounds. It's kind of interesting. I feel like it reminds me of 99% Invisible. It's like that sort of format, like a shorter This American Life type of thing. It's kind of interesting. They did the one I remember. They did an episode about like noise pollution in the ocean. So like how I guess it's like a well documented thing that noise from ships and things has affected the way like whales like communicate with each other. So like whales over the last like 50 or 100 years have started like making their whale sounds at a higher and higher frequencies than they used to, in an attempt to be able to communicate like over the noise of ships. And I guess like boats are particularly noisy in the water because like sound goes really far in the water. So that was interesting. But yeah, if you're looking for another podcast it's in the like 20 to 30 minute episodes format. It's good.
Well, this is great. I just downloaded. They have an episode on the history of the NBC chimes, which actually I'm very interested in. So I just downloaded.
Oh,
that.
I listened to that one. It was really good.
Cool. This is great. I honestly, I feel like such a dick because I never listen when you guys recommend podcasts. And like my brother and me is another good example, which you picked. I think Colby, was it you who picked it? Like
Maybe, yeah.
months ago. And I just was like, Psh, what the fuck does this guy know? And then I just didn't. And then I started listening to it. I'm like, oh, this is great. I should have been listening to this the whole time. So no more am I going to blow off your recommendations. I'm not going to do it. I've learned my lesson.
All right, Sean. We'll hold you to that.
Please do. Okay. So for my pick, it's not for everybody. I thought to bring this up because, Dan, you were mentioning my job as a digital. What's my title? Digital. I can't think. It's too late on a Monday. I don't know.
Digital marketing master.
Digital marketing specialist. Fancy. But part of that involves managing social media, and that involves writing and posting content to 4 networks: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're not on Snapchat yet. Someday. They're all the hip kids are. But doing it manually is terrible. It's not fun. It's kind of a pain, especially because you have to remember to do it every day across 4 networks. And then you have to have different image sizes for different networks. And, some have hashtags, some have the @ handles. They all do stuff differently. It's kind of a pain. So you can automate it. It's called Buffer. And I don't know if you guys have used Buffer before. They kind of started out as not as enterprisey. Now they're a little more enterprisey. But they're a really great way. Their best thing is that you just schedule posts. That's what they're really good at. They do other stuff, and they're trying to go into more areas. They just do that part really well. If you need something, and I know that when they started, I used them a long time ago because they had a Chrome extension. And if you want to share articles on your Twitter, you can just hit that, and then they would automatically schedule them at certain times, and then they'd leave gaps between them, and so it wouldn't be a pain. They were very good for that. Buffer is really great. You can schedule posts on all the major networks with the images and the videos attached and the links and the posts. And you can look at the calendar. Like my posts are scheduled 2 months in advance, so I can look at the whole calendar and shuffle stuff around. Their app is really good. They make posting on Instagram easy, which is kind of a pain everywhere else. So anyway, if you're looking for a great way to manage your social posts, in case you do it a lot, you can check out Buffer at buffer.com. And they do have a free version that's that's powerful enough for an individual, but of course you can pay and get the enterprise version as well. Sound good?
Cool.
All right.
I've used this before. It works great.
It is. It does one thing really well. It doesn't, you get a Hootsuite or some of these services that do 8 zillion things and none of them particularly well. No. If you just got to schedule shit to get posted to your Twitter account, they're pretty great. So I'm very happy with using them. I get calls from these big vendors all the time that we'll do this for your social account and it'll only cost you $30,000 a year. And I'm like, I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so.
What a deal.
Yes. So there you go. There is that. And that is the show. Because we are at the end of our allotted time, gentlemen, unless you have something else you would like to say.
Be safe out there.
Always good advice.
The sun almost disappeared today. You never know what's going to happen.
I think it's good advice, Dan. Keep wearing those solar eclipse glasses. You never know when another eclipse could break out.
Yeah, wear them until they expire.
Wear them until they're good. You paid for them, right? Use them.
Right. Yeah.
And I will say that I mentioned earlier in the show, of course, you should go to GameNights.tv and check out the latest episode of Game Nights where we play Dungeons and Dragons. That was a lot of fun. And you definitely come back for the following episode, which is our grand finale. That'll be hopefully exciting. Hopefully these guys will live through it. I'll also say go to upfordebate.tv, check out the latest episode of Up for Debate where we talk about shopping malls, which I thought was a lot of fun.
Is this inspired by your favorite YouTube channel?
This was inspired by our favorite fan, Dan Miller, who was so excited. And we even talked about the best food court foods.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And I stood up for Orange Julius, which no one seems to remember but me. So you'll have to go and check out that episode. And I will tease this Thursday we're going to be taping, and it should be up Friday or so. We're going to do our trademark creative challenges, which either go very well or horribly wrong. where we're going to make our own radio commercials. So you are definitely going to want to listen to that. It's going to be great. But that is it for this show. We will be back next Monday, streaming live at facebook.com/don'tpanicshow. Of course, go to the website, don'tpanic.io anytime and get the audio, video, and, of course, the pics there. Subscribe to us on all the major podcasting platforms and on YouTube at youtube.com/don'tpanicshow, and reach out to us at don'tpanicshow on Twitter and don'tpanicshow@gmail.com. That is it. On behalf of Colby and Dan, this is Sean thanking all of you for joining us. Hoping we'll see you next time for more great tech news and fun discussion here on another Don't Panic.